Like, don't get me wrong, I feel like the future for Georgia is great, but I felt that way since like 2016 or 2017, since we made the championship, because that was the first year I watched Georgia and I was like, we'll win all these games and then get, beat, whatever, who cares? Because I never really thought Georgia would be a team that would make the playoffs, even with Kirby Smart. But then when we finally made the playoffs, I'm like, oh, whoa. This team could be really good. And then we won a playoff game and I'm like, whoa. This team could be really good. You know what I'm saying? So it really got me into that whole Georgia hype a lot. And then after that, Georgia just really hasn't been the same. Like, we haven't been that great again. And there's a lot of talk about this season maybe returning us back to 2017. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, no, I don't think so. And let me tell you why, right? So we lose pretty much two of our defensive backs who are very important. Tyson Campbell's gone. Eric Stokes, a beast, who I knew was a beast since, 2018 when he first, got playtime. When I said, look, we got to put him in over Tyson Campbell because Eric Stokes was a dog. He was a straight dog, and I take that literally. Eric Stokes, straight beast. Tyson Campbell, zone coverage beast. Man coverage, not so much. But I think we lost a lot on defense. Our D-line is about to be world class. We got Nolan Smith. Hopefully Nolan Smith can develop and get more sacks. I feel like he reminds me of like Bud Dupree from the Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to know, Bud Dupree in his early years in Pittsburgh I'm talking like he was a threat. We picked him top 15? Coming off the edge, he's an open linebacker. He could always get to the quarterback, but it would be like a second too late. Half a second too late. The quarterback would throw the ball. He would cause a lot of pressure. Don't get me wrong. He was also pretty good in the run game, but he could never get the sack. And that's kind of how I'm looking at Nolan Smith right now. Nolan Smith's a dog. He's a beast, power rusher, but he's more of a run stopper than he is an actual get to the quarterback sack guy. And I don't know if the NFL scouts are seeing that. I feel like with some development, I think Nolan Smith will become a monster, because I don't want to see the second best, highest recruit Georgia's ever gotten, turn into this like forgettable player. I want to see this man as a first round pick. And it sucks because I'm like, I hate the fact that we get these top recruits, but every time we get a top 5-star recruit, I feel like they just don't really develop the way they need to. Justin Fields developed at Ohio State. We didn't use him at Georgia, and that caused him to leave. And now we got some new 5-star quarterbacks coming in, and it makes me kind of nervous because I'm like, let's see how Georgia treats them, and let's see how these situations goes. But let me tell you why I feel like listen, okay. The only hype Georgia's receiving is from Georgia fans. I'm a Georgia fan, so I love to be hype about my team. I love the future of my team, but this past season was it was so disappointing to watch, okay? Because we ruined our season. JT Daniels was cleared after the Auburn game, and Florida had possibly the best Florida team we've seen since what? Since how long since Florida's been this great at football? And Kirby Smart's idea was, after Stetson Bennett dropped just 14 points against Kentucky. Yes, Kentucky. 14 points. We won that game 14-3. Kirby Smart thought it would be a good idea to let Stetson Bennett start against potentially the second top 5 offense in the nation. A quarterback who just dropped 14 points on a team like Kentucky. And I sit here and I think and I wonder, Kirby, how was that the smartest decision you felt possible in your head, that was a smart decision? And he was saying that, okay, well, me and Todd Monken talked and we think that Stetson's the best option right now, because it definitely wasn't oh my goodness, I'm having a brain fart. I'm having a brain fart. D'Wan Mathis. It definitely wasn't D'Wan Mathis. So Georgia was at a pickle this season because we didn't have a quarterback. We have a quarterback now in JT Daniels, but we lost Bama because our second half, Stetson Bennett showed his true colors. We lost to Florida, which pretty much ended our season. Our season was over there. It was really no even reason to watch the rest of the games until JT Daniels stepped onto the field. That's when football got interesting again, because I'm like, okay, well, let's see the future of Georgia. Everybody hyped up this quarterback. Let's see how good he is. He drops 400 yards. First game. I'm talking 3rd and longs, complete first down. 3rd and longs, 50-yard touchdown. It's like, it's just so easy for him, and it allows us to open up the RPO. I'm telling you what, right now I might be too hyped for. One thing I might be too hyped for is the future of this Georgia offense. We got Brock Vandagriff coming in. We got Gunnar Stockton coming in, and I think Gunnar Stockton will eventually be the guy for Georgia. I love Brock Vandagriff, but I don't think one of them's gonna leave, because we're not gonna keep both of them. So Kirby has to understand. He has to be able to tell who that guy's gonna be. He has to be able to tell who that guy's gonna be. And I think, honestly, for the long term, for the betterment success of Georgia, I think that guy will probably be Gunnar Stockton. I think Gunnar Stockton will be probably a better overall quarterback than Brock Vandagriff. And I know it's too early to kind of compare them, and it's pointless to compare them, but that's something I'm looking at, and that's something I'm thinking about that I feel like can happen. Gunnar Stockton has that Heisman build to him. You know, he can run. He is short. He has a great arm, quick release. His accuracy will probably improve. He has another year of high school, so, you know, let's take it slow, but it's going to be really interesting to see what we get from him. Brock Vandagriff, he just has that strong arm, man. He has a strong arm. He can probably, his pocket awareness may be better. It probably is better. And like I said, he has that deep arm that we will need, because I don't know if you guys know, but we got possibly one of the fastest player in the nation in Arian Smith on our team. So he was the fastest player in his class. He won the Fast Man Challenge or whatever at the Under Armour All-American game. And we saw him burn some DBs a few times. So I definitely expect us to get him into the offense a lot more. So it'd be great to have a guy like Brock Vandagriff. But when I talk about Georgia receiving too hype, I really want to talk about this next season, because I keep getting a little too much off topic. I keep going on these little rants, right? What is there to be? Listen, after this game against Cincinnati, I feel like the game against Cincinnati really snatched a lot of my future hype for this team, because before we played Cincinnati, we were just straight dogging team. We're dropping 50 points. And, you know, Georgia wasn't doing that because we had no quarterback. We haven't dropped 50 points in a long time. I know we dropped 50 against Georgia Tech, but that's Georgia Tech. Come on. You know what I'm saying? But in like a real game, when was the last time Georgia actually dropped 50 points? And we just dominated South Carolina after, you know, they upset us last year, nearly ending our season. And, you know, it was disappointing, but it was really that game against Cincinnati. And don't get me wrong, Cincinnati had a world-class defense, but and we had a lot of players missing. But man, we can't keep recruiting top 3 classes, and then our excuse is, well, we had a lot of players opt out of the bowl game. That cannot be our excuse anymore. And I'm gonna tell you, really, the defense really took a step back after Richard LeCounte got injured. After Richard LeCounte got injured. And it's a scary sight, because without Richard LeCounte on the field, it felt like the defense had no presence. It felt like the defense was lost. It felt like they had no idea. It felt like the defense no longer had that Georgia identity that they've had the past few seasons, because our defense was absolutely atrocious. And it's like, well, and then people were saying, well, we sacrificed our defense for an offense. And I'm like, that's really not just true. It's just the fact that our leader of the defense is not, he's not on the field being vocal anymore. And Georgia's got to find somebody to replace him. And it's really, it's scary, because I don't know what to expect from this Georgia defense next season. I know what to expect from this offense. And I know what I better expect. Darnell Washington better have at least 700 receiving yards. Okay, 10 touchdowns. Arian Smith better catch at least 10, 15 deep balls. I know we better beat Bama finally, because there's no excuses anymore. There's no excuses anymore. If Georgia doesn't win the division next year, which I'm pretty sure we will, because I think Florida's going to return back to the mediocre Florida team that we're used to. I'm just telling you right now, we can't, and I feel like we got a taste of that anyway when they played Oklahoma. Like, that's Florida. That's the real Florida without their top players. And then they're saying, like, okay, well, we got Emory Jones. We're not worried about Emory Jones. I'm not. That's the last thing I'm worried about. We have our defense is way too fast and too quick for a scrambling quarterback to think he's going to come out here and just dominate us like that. Like, come on. It's, you know what I'm saying? Our defense is fast. We got a lot of fast players, and that's how Kirby recruits. He recruits speed and power, which is great. But to get back on that point, I'm just nervous about our defensive identity. I don't know who's going to step up and become that big guy. We had a 5-star safety who we were the favorites for, James Williams, and we lost him. We were the favorites for a 5-star cornerback, the number 1 cornerback in the nation, in Tony Grimes. We lost him to North Carolina. So to be quite honest, this recruiting class this year for Georgia has actually been quite lackluster. it's been great because we got Brock, and I feel like we'll need Brock, but then we got Gunnar Stockton from next year. So that one was questionable. I didn't even expect that to happen, but we have a video on the channel talking about that. It really boils down to finding the real identity for this Georgia team. We play Clemson week 1, and that is scary. That's scary, okay? We're playing Clemson with DJ, who's a great quarterback. Don't sleep on DJ because he started against Notre Dame, and I think he threw for, 400, 5 touchdowns, no picks. So I'm going to tell you right now, Clemson's still going to have a great offense. They're losing their running back. They're still going to have a great offense. But I feel like if Georgia has this identity with the spring practice, if Georgia has their identity figured out, I feel like Georgia will be fine. And I feel like we can beat Clemson. Because if we lose to Clemson, our season's pretty much already over. And I know that's crazy to say, but if we lose to Clemson and we lose again, it makes it almost impossible for us to be accepted into the playoff. Because, Georgia will probably lose again. If we beat Clemson, we shouldn't lose again. I think every other team we play, we should be able to win. We have pretty easy games. And we'll probably face Bama in the SEC championship. We will face Bama. Come on, they just had the #1 recruiting class. They're not slowing down anytime soon. They just got another 5-star quarterback. So, rest in peace. But, I think this has to be the year Georgia takes that leap over Bama. And I feel that leap coming, but I feel like I don't really know how to put it into words of what it is that's holding us back from it. But we need to be able to take that leap and get Georgia over the elites of the NCAA. And that starts when we play Clemson. We'll have a potential chance to play 2 of the NCAA's most elite. When we talk about the top 3 teams in football, we get a chance to play 2 of them this year. A chance, because I'm saying, we should play Bama, but you never know what to get from Georgia. We get a chance. We get a chance to play Clemson and Bama. We lose to Clemson, we win our SEC. We win the SEC East easily. We should win it easily. And we get into the SEC championship where we'll possibly face Bama. If we beat Bama, we can get in the playoff. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. And right now I feel like Georgia doesn't have that identity that I've been searching for. And for me, that's kind of keeping me from getting a little too excited. So that's really how I'm gonna answer the is Georgia receiving too much hype question. I don't think Georgia's receiving too much hype. But I'm a bit nervous that Georgia doesn't have an identity. We'll see what that identity is looking like when we play Clemson week 1. Okay? If we lose to Clemson, it drops our season down because that's going to keep the committee from really taking us serious. If we can beat Clemson game week 1, I don't care if it's by 1 point or 30. I feel like Georgia won't miss the playoffs if we can beat Clemson week 1. This game against Clemson in week 1 will be the most important game on Georgia's schedule. Not even the SEC championship game will be more important because if we beat Clemson, I feel like we can really win the rest of our games. And even if we lose to Bama in the SEC championship, I feel like we still have a shot to make the playoff. I feel like at least 1 point this season, Georgia should be ranked #1. Georgia should be looking like the best team in football at 1 point this season. And it's going to be hard when you got teams like Bama. I feel like Oklahoma will take that next leap. Clemson, Ohio State. It's going to be interesting to see. A lot of these teams lost their quarterbacks, but Georgia's here with their same offensive identity that will get better. Georgia's offense will get better. However, their defense right now I feel like has no identity, and that's scary to me. But maybe we'll start playing and we'll find that identity. But until then, it's keeping me from really getting excited about the future of this Georgia football team.